Welcome again to our YouTube channel.
Hi.
Hello. Guess what, guys? Today we have a special guest here. And I'm going to give him a minute to introduce himself. He's a wonderful friend of ours, and we're so blessed to have him here today on the channel.
Okay, yes. Hello, how are you? My name is Chingo. I go by Chingo. Everyone calls me Chingo or Chingo. And I have been blessed and privileged to meet Tenny and Japa here in my time in Roanoke.
And that's Jay.
Jay. Sorry.
So today we invited Chingo here because we were trying to see, as people that came, fresh off the boat when we were, adults, full grown, we saw Chingo, we're like, okay, let's see the difference between someone who came here when they were much younger, like maybe when they were like 5 to 10 years old, versus someone who came here when they were like fully grown, immersed in Nigerian culture.
Like me.
Yeah, exactly. Like me too. I mean, I came here when I was like in my late teens, so I guess you can say I was still a child, but I was grown. My identity was already firmly rooted in my home country. So today we have Chingo. So can you tell us your story, your immigrant journey, or just in general how you managed to, end up here in this place?
Yes, awesome. Yes, I came here with my whole family. I'm the youngest of 4 siblings. And so my mother came here to study, and so they were able to give a student visa to the whole family. And so we came, she studied, she graduated, and we were able to find a little bit of work until there are a lot of people in this country who run into immigration issues. Something happens to their paperwork situation, and my family was no exemption. And so through that process, not being able to work, but being able to go to school, it was a whole turbulent thing. But before going there, I came into this country, I was 11 years old. So as they said, I had a half identity. Yes, I was small. And so in a sense, I went through an identity crisis. So at home, I'm Nigerian, fully Nigerian. But when I go to school, I'm trying to fit in with the black kids and with the white kids. So playing basketball and trying to learn new sports, trying to learn new foods, trying to learn new pronunciations of things. For example, it might be a small deal, but it was a big deal to me. I used to fail the spelling of color.
Oh yeah,
it's just British grammar. It makes sense, That's what I grew up on.
Can I say something real fast about that? I remember when I first came to the United States and I was typing on the computer because I had set my computer to type for me in the English, in the United States English, and whenever I type color into the thing, it would give me the COLOR, and I'm like, something is wrong, and I put the U, it takes it out again. I'm like, what's going on here? So I can relate with that real good.
Color, favor, everything.
Even organization.
Yes.
Put a Z here, then it's S in the British. It's so much different nuances with the language.
Absolutely.
But how would you say when you first came, having to switch to the education system? Did you start from middle school or is it high school?
I did. So coming here, that's actually one of the biggest parts of my own personal story. My siblings went straight to high school, but for me, JS1 translates to 7th grade here. Mm-hmm. So I was in middle school. Oh. And the education system, the biggest difference that affected me was back in Naija, we sit down and the teacher comes and collects our work, walks around with a cane. And then we just sit down in our desk and we don't move unless they'll beat you.
Oh,
and you put your bag, then you open it and they'll collect your homework, they'll check it. Mm-hmm. But in the United States, the teacher sits down and there's a particular place for homework. And then you come in and then you have to go to the place designated for homework and then turn in your homework. Mm. So when we came, it was February. It was right smack in the middle of the school year. I wasn't well adjusted. That thing wasn't communicated to me. So I used to have my homework in my bag. I remember the parent-teacher conference, first one, they told my parents I was failing. I've never failed anything in my class. Me that used to and then the grading, the way they do first, second, third, fourth, fifth, back home.
Yeah.
Here everything is A, B, C, D,
No one has time for all that.
And I think that's actually good because I mean
Hard
I think
things.
sometimes it's more like and so it causes like unhealthy competition back home in Nigeria where you have first, second, and third, and you begin to compare yourself. Even though it's kind of like it prompts you to want to do better, but sometimes also I think it puts a lot of pressure on you. Your friends are doing like good, you're having first, because everybody cannot be first in the class, obviously.
Exactly.
So that kind of creates a kind of unhealthy competition, which I think most Africans bring to this country. And because I had a friend back then in the university, in college here, and he was always thinking we're in a competition or something. I think he brought the African mentality down here to the United States, and I think that's one of the cons of what we do back home compared to what they do here.
Yeah, that there's a saying, Nigerians they carry last. Like Nigerians, we don't take last in anything. So we try to be first in everything we do. Maybe because of how our education system is.
Yes.
So that sense of competition has been ingrained in us right from when we were little.
Absolutely.
In a way, it's good. It builds resilience, but at the same time, it makes you feel like everyone is against you, and like no, we're all just trying to do our best here. Like no one is fighting you, So we just need to learn how to shed that like mentality of competing with everyone that we meet.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so due to that, just to cap off, I failed the 7th grade when I first came. Yeah.
Ooh,
It
ball
was-
man.
No, it's not even that. So my own was special. And I'd never repeated anything.
Special
That one was
failure?
an abomination. So because of that, so here's the difference. In America, they do things, they reason that because I was 10, which was normal in GS1 back then. But they said 10 in the 7th grade is too young. So instead of making me repeat, they put me back. So I now have to go to the 6th grade.
Wow. So it's like double.
Talk about trauma. So yeah, no, that one
a
is
big
real
one.
trauma.
They didn't even let you stay in the 7th grade. They even pushed you back.
So and the reason that they convinced my parents that is due to age. That
Yeah, they do that a lot here.
Yeah, so everything is by age, not by cognitive ability. Naija, we can test out. You know how many people don't do primary 6?
I got double promotion.
My sisters they didn't
didn't do
do
it. A
primary
lot of
6
people
and
get double
primary 5 and primary 6
Mine
because
was
they
over.
just they were cognitively able.
Yeah.
And
they
so
survived.
it's an academic society versus in America it's not an academic society unless you make it to like maybe high school and some advanced honors classes and everything like that. It's not about academics.
Okay, so and also another thing I've noticed, like when children come like straight from the motherland, they always get bullied and they face a lot of hostility from the African Americans here. And I'm not like trying to say that it's African Americans are bad or anything. I'm just saying like a lot of people that have come here, younger, they kind of face this bullying both from their fellow Black people or even just from the other races. So would you say like that was your experience?
Absolutely, that was my experience. However, it didn't make a real big deal to me because I was in a place where I wasn't the only African. There were people from Zimbabwe there were people from Ghana. So all the Africans, we all got it. From the teachers making snide comments to our African American peers. I think we got it worse from our African Americans because we just wanted to fit in, I mean, they're the ones that look closest to us.
Absolutely.
But then they'll be like, you smell funny, you eat funny, all these things. And it's not, now I know it's like, if I meet somebody fresh off the boat, I can just smell them. No, it's true.
Are you saying we smell?
No, the soap that is used here, the food that is eaten, everything that comes in comes out of us.
I actually noticed there's a particular
If they're
smell
cooking
in the
soup
country.
in your house and then you will now go to school, wouldn't you smell like a wedding soup? Exactly. You'll go to school and people will be like, ew, what's that? What's that smell? Exactly. That's the beginning of it. But it's trauma. It's we've all suffered the trauma. So yeah, and you get to make friends from people who genuinely they want to know about other cultures. And it wasn't just us. I went to an international kind of high school. The Indians got it too. You know, the Arabs got it too, and so we came in 2001. It was the year of when
this one, yeah,
9/11.
We don't been here a while. 2001.
So anybody from the Middle East or anything like that was getting like, oh, you're a terrorist. We're kids in high school and everything. So people have been through stuff. So it's
that's pretty traumatic, and you know, I can't imagine.
Or when they were doing scams, you know, then the teachers would be like, oh, Nigerian. You know, hey, you know, a Nigerian sent me. Do you know him? And Nigerian sent me an email saying that.
I think just to talk a little bit about that, I think it's not even just high school kids. I think bullying, it's just across the system here. It's just a thing. Mm-hmm. You know, that was part of my fear even when coming to this country, because I watched a lot of high school movies back home, and I was like, well, I don't think anyone should experience this, because seeing those kids, it was traumatic for them. It was just a very bad experience. And I think bullying just cut across being in high school, college, anything where you find, even at the place of work, you get bullied. So because those bullies from high schools end up in organizations, at workplace, I think if we stop the bullying thing, the world would be a better place. You know, I just really feel bad for people who get bullied in school. And I don't think it's a good experience. It's not. For sure, it's not.
It's not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it leads to, again, this word resilience is why we become even more resilient when we come here. Because we realize how alone we are and we have to survive. So in Naija, it's survival at any cost. And then when it comes here, it becomes even more survival. You have to, it's more than survival. It's succeeding at any cost, thrive at any cost. You must be, it's like success on steroids. That first, you must be glorious. You know, you cannot just be good, you must be great.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, because that's why most Nigerians actually succeed here. Because if you look at the history of things, a lot of Nigerians have come into this country and they are really amazing people. They're doing well in their careers, in their life, in their pursuits. So I think that kind of like put pressure on them. I don't know if the pressure, I would say, is necessarily good, because I don't think everybody can survive under pressure. So, but some people are able to, you know, get through it and become better people. While some people, it was a traumatic situation for them, but eventually they emerge as successful people as well. But then the trauma is still there.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing is, coming as an adult to this country, I feel like you already have your identity, but for children who are coming here, they're still, you know, trying to form their identity. So they have no choice but to just grasp that identity of resilience and, you know, fight, because that's what they know. But we that came in ready for our own fights, you know, back then. So we're like, we just want to come here and chill, you know? Like, can we just come and Japa and just, like, enjoy this country for what it is? Not come and start fighting everyone again. Because coming here as an adult, for sure, you know, you actually have to actively make that decision to come. As a child, your parents brought you, you know, you didn't have a choice. But I would say, you know, regardless of if you came when you were young or when you were an adult, I would say that fighting spirit is definitely something that, you know, most Nigerians, at least, you know, 90% of us, you know, we have it. So if you see any Nigerian, you know, your workplace or your school who's very competitive, don't worry, it's not personal. It's just that, like, nature in us.
That's been the journey. So thank you guys for sharing. Thank you for having me here. It's been an absolute pleasure.
We're blessed to have you here, and this is just part one, and part two will be coming out soon. Same Chingo will be here as well, just to continue to share with us the journey. So watch out.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. We definitely learned a lot. You know, you're a wealth of knowledge. There's a wealth of knowledge, you guys. And also,
no cap.
Yes. And you guys stay tuned. You know, like, share, comment, subscribe. Absorb, emotes. Not say the last word. Promote.
Thank you guys for watching. See you again next time. We love you guys.